Hey guys, it's Brad from Blue Nile Farm. Welcome to the channel. You know, we're finally going to get our K building up and erected in the next couple days. I have Adam Miller and his company called A&W Construction out of Middlefield, Ohio, coming out, and they're going to put this building up. And the building is going to be 60 foot wide, 135 long, and 16 foot tall. And it has a 312 pitch on the roof, and every steel beam is basically 15 foot on center. And they're going to be coming out with their Adam and his brother's crew, and they're going to wind up putting this building up the day after Labor Day, which would be September 2nd, 2025. And they're going to bring in a crane. They're going to bolt all the frame together. They're going to set it up, and they're going to run the wood purlins and girts. So stay tuned, and I'll kind of show you what we have to do. But prior to that, I'm going to show you what we need to do, or I need to do, prior to them showing up here, and some of my projects. So come along, and I'll show you how it's taking place and how it transitions. So one of the first projects that I have to do some point in the next 2 days before they start putting this frame up is take these piles and try to break them up and slide them into the low spots and where the concrete is and along the frame here. So I'm going to do that. That's one of my first projects. But before that, we're going to work over here and we're going to start tearing down this middle section, this walkthrough between the two barns. You know, this barn's a horse barn. This barn is actually going to be an indoor riding arena. And so I want to take out this middle section because we're going to expand it and make it a little bigger and change the design on it so it's a little bit more efficient during the winter weather, plus a little bit bigger. So let's go in there and I'll show you what I'm doing. So this section in here is basically a 10-foot wide walkway that I developed. It's probably about 15 foot long, and we have the roof that's kind of pitched at an angle. And bottom line, there's a lot of rot because of the moisture. Because when I hit the coverall building, a lot of the snow would land on top of this building. It would take forever, and it just seemed like a lot of moisture. It wasn't cleaning itself off, it's starting to rot. So we're changing the pitch of the roof, and instead of being 10 foot, this is going to be 30 foot wide. So my plan today, before they even show up, is to basically destroy and tear down this entire little structure, bring the excavator over and destroy it. I already went off the roof and ripped down most of the steel off, and that'll go into our scrap pile. And I'll have to pull out these posts. And bottom line, that gives them room so when they come through and they start putting up the steel on the roof, that they can walk the steel pieces up and down on both sides. And so that's one of my biggest projects for the day. We'll get this cleaned up. I'm going to grab a drill, take down whatever electrical containments here to get some of these wires out of the way, and then some other pieces that are still here for the horses. And we'll clean this whole section out, and then again we'll do a major tear down. So that's my projects for the next day and a half, 2 days, and in between baling hay, and we'll see how this goes. And it'll work out pretty good. So then they come in with a clean slate, and then we'll continue on from there. So here's a sped up time lapse of about 45 minutes to an hour worth of demolition of tearing down that 15-foot walkway with the excavator and the skid steer. And now we just have to do a little bit of cleanup. And I cut out at the end where we actually chained around the posts and lifted them out. And there's one post left, and the Amish guys are going to cut it at the base because it's surrounded by a big piece of concrete at the base. And that'll be taken care of. So this is what we got left. We just had that one post, like I said before, and we just have to clean up some debris. And now we have a walkway that's free, so they can start running the roof when they get ready for that, and all the big pieces of steel, and this obstruction is out of their way. So they'll make life a lot easier. So that's at least taken care of for now. I have to bring in some more dirt at some point. We have to actually fill in the pipes, and that's something I still haven't done yet either, but that's something we'll get to. So as I said at the beginning, there's one little project that I wanted to do and get it done, and it's bringing in fill dirt so we can kind of fill in the low spots. And we brought in a lot of dirt. I have a pile that I've been kind of picking through the excavator, bringing it over to the dump trailer, and we've kind of been scooting it in here with the skid steer. And the reason for doing it now is because I don't have to deal with the walls in the way. So we're trying to get it on both sides of the wall so we can slope it at a later date, and hopefully we're doing it what they want as far as not putting too much down. My buddy kind of loaded it up a little bit more than I would have, but we'll have to see how it goes. But I went through a lot of dirt. I got a lot more to go. I'm going to try to fill in as many holes as I can to avoid the work. But the worst part was on the back side, which we did, and I'm going to kind of show you what we did there, because you need a lot of dirt to kind of fill and make things level. But I don't want to have it too heavy if I don't need to, because I really don't know where they're going to leave the steel, how far down on this board that they're going to go. So that's the one thing I don't want to be too heavy on. But we had a lot of low spots in this top corner. I'll show you what I mean by that. Here's an example where we have dirt and here we don't have dirt. And I just need to kind of keep spreading it down a little bit. It's probably 45 feet or so that I need to kind of fill in. And it's probably better to do it now than later, especially right along the edges so I can kind of hang over the top. I mean, I can easily kind of come on this side if I need to drop some, but over there it's going to be tougher. So I want to kind of get that done today, and then we'll see what they say tomorrow when they get here. And if he wants me to level it out or something, I'll manage it that way. But like I say, I just want to save myself a lot of time and work. I've done this before with other buildings, and definitely a lot easier to do it now than it is once we start constructing. But it's really not going to be that difficult to drop material inside the barn because it's going to be tall enough. But it really just gets both sides. Now is a great time to kind of dump it where I can get to it without making a bigger mess. So I'm using the excavator, John Deere 120. We're going to use this, and we're going to load up my dump trailer, and that's where I'm hauling all my dirt. And I'm actually surprised how much dirt I've already went through. I'm kind of glad I had this clay pile here. We're down, definitely need a heck of a lot more for the other building, but I'm really going through a lot of it, actually kind of putting it around the outside. I'm a little bit surprised, but took a big chunk out of it, and might not be much left when I'm done. So we're just grabbing it from the pile, flipping it into the dump trailer, and I've just been making hauls, and I try to break it up as much as I can before we put it in, so it makes it a little bit easier to spread it. And it's working pretty good so far. It's nice and dry. I can't ask for much better for weather, and I think today's a good opportunity to play with it. And it's 2 days of moving dirt, and we've really moved more than I expected, and we spent more time than I expected to do this. But today I got to bale hay, so I'm going to do as much as I can, and then hopefully by the end of the day I can finish it up. So, because those guys will be here first thing in the morning. There's no way I'm going to do it in the morning. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to get as much moved today as I can, and in worst case scenario, I'll get the one that's closest to the barn site and try to fill in those low spots, because it's going to be harder later once they start building and putting the building up. It's going to be harder to get in and spin because there's only like 15 foot between the building, and it's a little bit easier to do it now. So the following clips are going to be of the building going up from day number 3, and you're going to get to see how it's getting erected. And I'm going to show you short segments along the way throughout the day of what it actually turned into. And I was very happy with what I saw at the end of the day. So enjoy the clips, and hopefully give you a good idea on how to build a K building. So this is what I came home to see when I got back from baling hay, and I was very impressed with what they got done in one day. So day 4 of the barn building experience, and their goal today is pretty much to get the roof on. So they're going to hustle and try to get that roof done as quick as they can. Hopefully they were trying to get it done the entire day. So the next several videos are basically what they did to put the barn roof on. And it's just basically tedious work. So that's all they did. You know, this Amish crew, they come, they start about, you know, as soon as daylight, about 7 in the morning, and they work till 3, and they go home after that. So they get done what they can. We have rain expected for tomorrow. And if they can get the roof on, that's great. If not, well, they could possibly get rained out on day 5. So let's see what happens. So it's day 4 of the barn build, and kind of taking where we left off. And today they're going to put the steel on the roof to finish up trimming. They're tying the loose ends up, and we'll see whatever else they can do. I don't know if they're going to have 2 teams today or maybe just one, but I think they'll get a lot done, and we'll see how it goes. Pretty excited, and going to give you a play-by-play. You know. Steel already came in last night, so they have that ready to go. And just working. Everybody's got a job, and it's a good thing. We definitely don't waste time. I've never seen a crew that just gets it done, and they just got it done yesterday. Like, didn't even need to ask them. Everybody had their job, and they got to it. So it's working out good. So, pretty happy. And again, this barn's 62 wide, or 60 wide, 135 foot long, and 16 foot tall. And it is a K building. Here's an overall shot of basically the building on day 4. Kind of at their conclusion, but it really didn't change much at the beginning. But you can clearly see the roof's on, the moisture barrier's been put up, and they're basically almost 3/4 of the way done. And they're starting to put up some of the rail boards on the outside of the rails. But they got a long way to go, and they'll knock that out probably on day 5. So from what I've been told is the sidewalls are going to take some time, and it's not going to be as quick as putting on the roof. So it'll be a lot more tedious, and they're going to do more with a cut. And this is basically a two-tone where it's going to be ocean blue in the bottom and white on the top. And then there's also going to be some kind of skylights also on the sidewalls, and we'll kind of show you what that's like when we construct it. So here's, just like you say, day 4. This is the overall view of what it looks like. Well, day 5 turned into a total debacle. Rain came early in the morning, stayed till almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just consistent rain. They couldn't get the roof done, so they basically petered around and got a few little things done inside. Nothing to really talk about. And they got a delivery for more wood for the walkway. It's pretty much it, so there's really not much to show. But I'll kind of go over what they have done so far, just to kind of give you an idea where we're at so far. So they got a delivery of trusses, and those trusses are going to be used for our walkway that goes between this barn, the indoor arena, and the horse barn, the one we tore down. They started putting up these little sideboards, which is they're going to attach the steel to. And they did a lot of, on day 3 and a little bit of 4, they did a lot more trim work and basically made sure everything is done, the fascia board's in, and also this little skirt board that you see on the bottom of the beam. So they really didn't do much today, but I'm sure that they'll be back tomorrow and they will finish this barn up, and we'll give you an update. And that will be a part of another video. So, but it gives you an idea. We got a lot done, and this barn is definitely coming together. And for only 4 days total of work, I'm pretty impressed, even if they didn't get a lot done today. So, worked out real well. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video on day 3 and 4 of the construction of the K building. And stay tuned for future videos on this process, because next they're going to do is finish the roof, start doing the siding, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the process of what they do in the completion of this building. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys soon.